We are live.
Hi, welcome to the thing. We're doing stuff. Okay, so Alexander has called out a meeting to try and get some actual progress made with the city. For technical difficulties, the StrekNet chat room thing ended up falling through. So, subsequently, since at least the hands had been extended, there has been through the gossip thread people trying to get pretty much the social handshakes out there. Alexander ended up sending out some word saying, "Hey, I need to talk to some folks that can do things because I have things that need taken care of, and I can, you scratch you scratch my back, I scratch yours, etc., etc." And once he heard back from a few people, he gave a location. They will be meeting at one of the secure vampire locations. So, I'm just going to go ahead and say that Alexander's already on site. So, uh, order of entry doesn't particularly matter here. But pretty much what happens when each person shows up is once they get onto the property, it pretty much just looks like this little one-story little house with a friggin' overhanging garage or whatever. So whenever somebody parks and gets in through the front door, lights are completely off, and there's a whole bunch of folks inside. Oh, fucking damn it, now my headset's dying. Anyway, so as each person shows up, they say, "Hey, I'm here to meet with the guy that called the meeting," or whatever. Those that aren't vampires, they're especially going to give very sidelong looks because all of this shit is completely unorthodox. But eventually everybody's brought into the downstairs basement, where pretty much there is a round table set up with a plethora of chairs and more armed, brawny goon guys with a dapper-looking, if I might say, motherfucker sitting next to the table. Suit and everything, Xanatos-style goatee. And they pretty much just greets each person in turn and asks them to take a seat.
Well, Nikolai will show up. Simple as that. He just shows up and he's waiting for everybody else to show up. For the shifter, this guy is really cold around him, and if you're screaming and you have babies and fire, so just for your reference.
Oh God, she sits as far away from you as possible.
At the mention of Xanatos, the gargoyle appears from the shadows and takes his seat at the table.
I've been trying to figure out all week how best to describe his goatee, and that's pretty much all I can come up with. He looks like fucking Xanatos.
He's raised his castle of the clouds.
Yeah? Why do you think the bloodline exists?
Of course.
Surprise! He's a Tremere. Anyway.
Zach walks in, looks at everybody, looks at the gargoyle, and the Xanatos dude next to him, and just kind of chuckles.
So, my previous meeting was an exercise in futility.
Do what?
Remember who he brought with him?
And Josh exploded.
Oh, he had a lot of background noise. But Josh exploded.
Didn't have to mute. I can just turn the volume down so she can still talk, but it's not a real mess.
Okay. What was it you were saying, Marcus?
Make it all legal.
We're waiting.
Hey, I gotta do something. Ooh, okay.
I have no idea what's going on.
Mage stuff.
Hey,
Oh,
Joshua, say your thing that you were gonna say. So everybody's waiting on.
Josh,
I
you're
don't know
saying
if you
something about
want
your
that.
previous meeting.
Yeah, he just kind of shrugs a little bit and goes, "My previous meeting was an exercise in futility."
Alex will turn to look over his shoulder and kind of cock an eyebrow. Well, that's quite unfortunate then. But somewhat irrelevant at this point. Thank
Indeed.
you all for coming. I apologize for the ham-handedness of the meeting, but frankly, it seems like it's the only way to actually get any of this to happen right now. So, since we have someone here from each of the major factions of the city, I'm curious as to what all you have been having to contend with over the last couple of months.
Dang it. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we even heard you giggling.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure because my volume wasn't working and it was dead quiet. Well,
If there was anything before the giggling, I didn't hear it, but whatever.
Joey keeps adjusting my volume and it's
I'm turning
driving
it
me
up.
nuts.
I'm turning it up so we can hear you.
Well, I don't need this copy of the Canterbury Tales from other phones.
Well, I mean, aside from the blowback from that power plant, just pretty much most of our own problems. But I see you guys have been dealing with exploding buildings and things of that nature.
And a fair number
Not sure
of...
what's about that, but what's up with that, but
Well, perhaps I can shed some light on that over the course of this. He's going to turn towards the mages and then back to her and say, by all means, somebody continue.
I think he means you, kid.
Nick, why doesn't look at Zach? You've been more active than I have. All I remember is that there was an issue with the power plant and that I helped you guys take care of it. I
The
don't know
issue
other
with the
than
power
that.
plant has been taken care of. It has since been corrected and stopped, at least temporarily.
Does anyone know what the initial issue was with the power plant?
It was some of our enemies. They were using it.
The best way to put it in the most layman's terms is they were sucking the energy out of the normal environment and storing it for their own purposes.
Interesting.
When the mages went in the first time around, they reversed the effect.
and it had a really
Which is
big
why everybody
blowback
was
for everybody. But yes.
When we realized how much of an issue it was, there was a group formed to stop that from happening. We went in, we shut it off.
And what is it that you had to shut off?
The machine that was doing it. And the two portals it had open.
He's gonna cock another eyebrow at that. Portals to what, per se?
Not real sure. Didn't really walk in to find out. All we know is that there were two portals open at all times, and it was not a good thing, so we decided to shut it down.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
Considering they weren't drawing power from anything but themselves.
Ugh.
Alright, well, I appreciate that you all being so forthright. For the sake of getting formalities out of the way, I am Alexander Smith.
The guy laughs like when he says that.
Just gonna shoot a look at Vinny like, really? You're gonna do this right now? And then turn back to the mages, be like,
Sorry, kid. It's my smoothie.
ah. And
Doesn't have to wait a check, so.
okay, I'm good. Yeah, he's gonna motion towards the mages and be like, and just comment. In case you are wondering, yes, the same Smith has sent the letter to your organization.
I wasn't aware of some.
Nikolai just chuckles.
Anyway, and he's just gonna kind of motion to all of them. By all means, introduce yourselves as well. There's no reason for us to hide behind anything else here.
You motion to the female. Ladies first.
I'm Alexandra Abernathy.
Pleasure to meet you.
Looks to the gargoyle.
I would be Alms. Just Alms is the only name.
Shakes his head.
My name is Nikolai.
And one of the things I really like about it too is
Name's Zachary.
mostly black shirts, maybe a little bit of a
Pleasure
white
to meet you.
undershirt.
And the smoothie enthusiast here is Vinny.
No, I'm not. My name's Carmine.
Right. Carmine.
Apparently you guys have a confusion as to what his name is. Look, if we're gonna start off with the bullshit, let's end this now.
No,
It's not bullshit, kid. As far as anybody that breathes in shit's concerned, my name's Carmine.
There.
You guys can call me Vinny. Not like I'm ever gonna talk to you guys again.
Anyway, so as is fairly obvious from the request that I put out, this isn't simply a greet and be friendly meeting. The city has a number of issues which I do not mean to make any presumptions, and I'm not pointing any fingers with this, but the Kindred alone have been having a number of problems that, for lack of a more tactful way of putting it, shouldn't be our problems.
What do you mean?
He's going to motion to Zach. You stated that your enemies were using the power plant. Were there any additional creatures or of some odd nature or whatnot that were present that wouldn't be normally under your organization's purview?
No. Everything we fought was expected for what we were going up against.
That's a wonderful change from what we've been dealing with. He's going to turn to Alexandra. What can you elaborate to me about the nature of a Fomori?
Ooh. Well, they are nasty. They can They're something. Their powers can range in any numbers. Their abilities, they vary. Every single one of them different. Some can have tentacles. Some could have a frog tongue. Hell, some could have 3 eyes. Some could have acid blood. So on and so forth. They're all nasty. No matter how you look at it.
Why would one be working to try and corrupt the blood of a vampire?
I don't know.
And now welcome to the conundrum we have been having to deal with for over 2 months.
That's not so bad.
In short, over the course of our investigations, we have determined that a deviant group of vampires has been working in conjunction with mages and with,
Nope. Sorry.
well, frankly, with shifters of their own, and with these Fomori creatures.
It's just not gonna do it.
Well,
Which all present evidence that I've been able to have in front of me has pointed to the likelihood that they were all working in tandem. That Minneapolis itself has been under a concerted effort. Since then,
not unheard of.
for an offensive group of shifters, mages, and vampires to be working together for an extended period of time.
No, it's not unheard of.
Hey, kid. Hey.
It's rare.
Hey, kid.
What?
Alexander's just gonna cock. Oh, but
Which kid? You called everybody a kid here.
Well, it's 'cause I'm 50. Everybody's a kid to me. Hey, you. Yeah, with the... Kid, come here for a second.
Well,
They're all.
They're all still staring at him.
Come here.
Which one?
Alex. Come here.
Alex,
He's
I think
good.
you lost him for something.
yeah, he's gonna nod. One moment, please. He'll go ahead and stand up and stand next to Vinny. What?
You're doing that thing where you talk too much. By the way, he's not hiding his whisper at all.
It's like.
Remember, this shit's simple.
I'm aware.
Well, come on then. Make it simple.
Okay. Hey, Carmine.
Yeah.
It would really help if you stayed quiet for at least the next 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Just saying.
Thank you. And Alexander will go back to take a seat.
Subtle.
Yeah. Anyway, the point is that I'm not sure what exactly each of your groups has been dealing with on their own, but so far there has been a lot of attention from all three of these groups directed at ours. We have since dealt with the majority of it. What I need to know is what all has been going on that might provide any leads, I suppose. And in return, we may be able to provide additional information to help each of your causes as well.
There's academics and literature. Well, Miss Alexander, why don't you let us know what kind of problems you've been having?
Very similar ones from the sounds of it. Was it your shifter liaison told our warder something about a law firm?
Jack perks up that one.
Yes. So far as we've been able to tell, that there has been that seems to be the central place that keeps coming up. Unfortunately, there was a pen in the drawer. Unfortunately, the standing orders that I had been under were that it was not to be touched. That is primed to change very soon, but
Better not, kid.
he's just going to glare daggers at Carmine for a moment. 10 minutes.
I'm old. I forget shit.
That kind of took it.
frankly, as this is an issue that does address all three of our groups, it's one that should be addressed with all three of our groups. A coordinated attack cannot be stopped with an uncoordinated defense.
True.
So, how are you guys planning on handling the anti-terrorist units?
Anti-terrorist units.
Exactly, smiles.
Elaborate.
The highly armored individuals walking around.
Well, I'm assuming that there's more to it than that if it's a direct concern that you're bringing up.
We've encountered them.
Okay.
They're very tough. Their armor is unique.
Unique in what sense?
I mean, the bad guy versions of us are working with forces most people aren't aware of.
It was Zach, correct?
Yep.
I will be. I'm going to be forthright here. If it's information about the enemy, there's no reason to.
Well, none of you are bad at all, so I can only assume that it only affects us. And considering what we've learned about them so far, it's a dangerous thing that affects us.
Well, if it seems to be a dangerous thing that specifically affects you, he's going to then look at Alexandra. I wonder how effective Claw or Fang would be against it.
Swords didn't seem to do much.
Yeah.
Neither did bullets.
You guys mind if I ask a question?
Sure.
I mean, Alex, you okay with me asking a question?
Alexander's his eyes closed just a little bit. It's just like, I need to get this motherfucker a watch.
I mean, I'm sitting here listening, and I've been through something like this similar.
Go ahead, Carmine.
Well, does the assemblage mind if I speak over here?
I don't mind.
By all means.
Let's stick to generalities. Use all guys are basically in the same gang. All of you, right? Some other guys from another gang that come to your turf and they want to fuck with you, right?
Correct, if you want to put it that way.
Those guys don't always work together, right?
True.
Okay, so how you gonna do that from now on and not reveal any of your gangland secrets?
We are currently working on a process to unite.
You're playing the pronoun game, kid. This shit you don't want to tell them, and she's probably got shit you don't want to tell these guys, whatever. So, in essence, the guys on the outside are trying to fuck with you. Are you guys bosses?
No.
So you're not a boss. Okay.
No.
Alex, you're only kind of a boss, right?
He's gonna cock an eyebrow. Yes.
Red, you a boss? I mean, ma'am, you a boss?
No. No.
Okay then. Scaly, you a boss?
I am the boss,
Right.
but not that boss.
You're like full of shit, right? So like you're not a boss, right?
Yes, I'm full of shit, but
Right, thanks.
I am a boss.
Right. So, how are you gonna make any real plans if you're not a boss?
Carmine, if
wait.
you remember on the ride over,
What? I remember. Yeah.
you're old, remember? Carmine, on the ride over, I believe I did mention that this was a meeting where the exact phrasing was capable or influential.
Yeah, that ain't a boss, dude. Like,
But
I
it's
just
a
asked
start.
you, was you a boss? And you're like, not. So the question is anything in this room going to stick?
I am currently working with several like-minded
He's not a
individuals
boss. You a boss? Yes, no.
within my group.
Yes,
We
no.
are taking things into
Carmine.
our own hands.
So, okay. So you guys in different gangs and you guys want to work together to take out something. You got to hit something. So what are you going to hit?
Well, and ultimately that's why we're here.
But you didn't ask
The-
that.
Right.
We need to know what the enemy has.
No, you don't.
Carmine.
Okay. Just saying. You're thinking too much.
Anyway, have either of your groups been able to track down where the enemy has been operating out of aside from the law firm?
Well,
Zach shakes his head.
I mean, there have been several locations, but those have already been handled upon discovery. Most of them, as far as I know.
Well then, if it sounds like there is only one location, then I believe that answers the question then, doesn't it?
And how do... Never mind. I'm just going to let you guys
You
speak.
do realize they called these anti-terrorist units in from out of town, right?
Yes, and now that
Does anyone know what they're here for?
that's one of the
I
other
can make it
concerns. And what would that be?
to destroy all of us here.
That seems more like a obstacle than a goal. I would assume that it has more to do with the magical nodes within the city, doesn't it?
How do you know about
Right.
those?
We've been looking into this for well over 2 months.
Zach says nothing.
Including the one under the
She
law firm.
can't say anything because she doesn't know anything about that stuff.
Including the one under the law firm, which apparently presents an exceptional problem, doesn't it?
It's a corrupted node, yes.
Now, just to verify the information that I already have on that, what does that exactly entail?
No offense, but it's way above the capabilities of the vampires.
Capabilities or not, if the enemy is attempting to use it in some way, that is a weapon. At the very least, we need to understand the basic principles of a weapon that could be potentially pointed at us.
It magnifies their power.
And considering that their power consists of magic, pretty much it makes them a lot more capable of pretty much doing anything.
No.
Yeah.
Noted. So,
If
ultimately,
they're working out of there.
if they are working out of there. So, just focusing on the law firm for the moment. It is a law firm. That means that it gives them influence within official channels. That's the thing that allows them to try and contest my kind. There's a corrupted node underneath it. Again, if they are operating out of there, that gives them power to try and oppose your kind, looking to the mages. This is seeming like once as convenient, twice as concerning. And he's going to look at Alexandra.
Well, if I've heard correctly from one of our own, yeah, they have some of ours too, so.
Some of your what? More of these
Shifters. They have shifters. They have Femori. But that's really all we've been able to get out of this individual.
Out of this individual? You you have a prisoner?
No, I would not. No. She's not a prisoner. I will put it this way. One of ours went to go look into this law firm and was gone for a while. We just got them back. And they don't want to talk about it.
Convenient.
No, it's not like that.
I can say that this enemy has been very adept at handing out information to the natives of the city when it serves their purposes. It may be prudent for you to double check this source.
Repeat that, I couldn't hear you over the movement.
Okay. The enemy is very adept at handing out information to the natives of the city to serve their own purposes. It may be prudent for you to double check the source, just to be sure.
No, this is a legitimate source. Whatever happened there was not good. It's that kind of don't want to talk about it.
Well,
it's my job to know these things and to see these things.
As heartless as it may sound, they need to talk about it, because if we're going to go and attempt to deal with this enemy, we have to know what we are dealing with. And if they were inside and are aware of anything that we are not, that is putting all of us in danger.
I'm well aware. But you aren't really in the same state of being as the rest of us are. Though you once were. Not that easy.
I may be a monster, but I'm not heartless. So,
it's not like we're not trying.
I'm not attempting to insinuate that you're not. I genuinely believe that each of our groups has been operating under only partial information. Only the information that it would normally directly deal with us, and if they are working in tandem, that means that the information is flawed, incomplete. Which is why these looking at Zach, which is why these channels of communication would be exceedingly helpful, because that would mean that we can, with impunity, make sure that we are not walking into traps or some such. Speaking of traps, there are actually two additional things that I wanted to bring up. Miss Alexandra.
Yes.
What do you know about an abomination? An embraced werewolf?
What the hell? For starters, that's where... Are you trying to tell me that these are in the city?
Yes. A
Quite a
number
few
of them.
Yes.
That's a whole lot of no good.
And the thing that was controlling them is quite potentially dead.
So... You mean they're running around freely?
So far as we're aware. The problem is that when the point of control was killed off, I can only assume that when they were I can only assume that they were subsequently freed. I can't be entirely sure. But what I do know is that I don't have track of them at this point.
Do you know where they were last?
Yes. Now, before I continue on that, who present would be... I do actually mean this with the sense of respect appropriate for it, but who here would be most willing to play White Knight in a rescue, or attempted rescue?
What are you talking about? Just be plain about it.
A number of weeks ago, there were a few dozen children that up and went missing.
Specifically, if I remember correctly, it was made to look like they'd all been killed, but
He disconnected.
Poor Josh.
Hey, Marcus, we need you to say it's okay. I'll wait.
I'm going to kill this thing.
Okay. Anyway,
Throw
so
Google
You're
out the
going to
window.
disconnect.
sorry, Josh, you had said it was made to look like.
Like they were murdered, but in reality they were quite handily abducted.
Abducted by? For what purpose?
Well,
Oh,
he's gonna kind of like shoot.
It's really
shoot.
fucked up to just say that they're dead and then no.
This is true. No, they are being in fact used by the enemy, or potentially again were. It's not entirely certain who is holding the reins on that part of their operation.
How are you so confident that your enemy is dead?
Well, I could say why, but I genuinely believe that you would think I am insane.
I already think you're insane because right now all you're giving us is we believe, we believe, we believe. Well, I believe they're magic fairies that run around and bless people with, big dicks, but that doesn't mean it's actually true.
Obviously, they missed one.
but I mean,
you'll have to forgive the we believes. It's like Alex's favorite term.
the whole point I'm trying to get at is that you're giving us the best way to put it is you're blowing a lot of smoke up our asses, but you're not giving us any valid information to back up what you're saying. You're saying we believe these people are dead. Have any of you guys investigated?
We know that they're alive.
Have you done any investigation to prove this? I mean, I don't want to think of a bunch of kids dead. No, don't misunderstand. I would prefer to think that they're alive. But do we have proof that they actually are?
And believe me, I understand that concern, and also believe me when I say that I
I'll be right back. Give
understand
me a
this.
second.
Okay. I also understand the skepticism for what I'm going to have. The only way that I have to present this. Until recently, we had I suppose, seer, scryer, I'm not entirely sure what the appropriate word for, but somebody that could look at things without actually having to be in the room. I don't know what the most appropriate term would be for that is, but within our group, his input was beyond reproach.
I believe he called it astral projection.
Something of the sort. Anyway, he was able to go and look at locations that we had for where, first of all, these abominations were, and there was a list of addresses that we were given that were where the children were. The only reason why I say we believe is because this information is over a week old by this point. And again, the point of control for the abominations was also the point of control for the children.
How are you so sure of this? It's a valid question. I'm curious. How are you so sure that the same one who was controlling these quote-unquote abominations was the same one behind controlling the kids? What if it was different sources? And what if who you believe was controlling everything actually wasn't? Just out of curiosity.
And that's, again, another valid concern. Part of the problem is, while we may have dealt with the majority of our problem, I'm out of character. I'm trying to think of like the actually appropriate thing to say here. The amount of manpower we have had to field to address these has made it so that we have not been able to investigate these as thoroughly as we would like. Believe me, I am far from one who wants to go into a situation with half information and half cocked.
Okay. Well, I'm just hearing a lot of stuff that really says nothing, and doesn't help us understand any better what's really going on. That's my problem. Is because you're saying we believe all this stuff, but you have no proof of any of this. All we have is your word for it. And forgive us, but you're blood-sucking parasites.
I'm a monster, yes, I'm aware.
So
I'm not.
he just chuckles. Oh, we got one of them. I mean, it's odd that now, after what seems like, as you put it, 2 months of getting your ass kicked, you're now deciding to come to us for help. Why didn't this start earlier? I mean, I'm just curious. I'm not saying I'm not willing to help. I want to know what's really going on, because it sounds like you're giving us a bunch of bullshit and not telling us what you really want to say. So just come out and say it.
Because this attack was so thorough that our own organization had been compromised for some time, we couldn't act.
All you had to say was, we got compromised, and that would have answered a lot of questions. So in other words, you had a bunch of people who weren't doing shit intentionally.
Correct. And we've been...
You have hit it upon the head, my good sir.
Exactly. And we've been attempting to play catch-up. And unfortunately, that degree of catch-up, whilst having to repair the damage that was done to our organization from, again, having been compromised, to be perfectly honest, the help would bring the city stable and peaceful that much faster.
Specific help anyway would.
Yes.
Okay. So the next question, since Mr. Carbine / just asked, just brought up, what kind of help do you need from us?
Well,
Us as mages, I'll leave it at that for now.
As far as your vote, well, we need to know who is able to look in. God damn it, dog! Some kind of fish.
We can hardly hear it when you're talking. You
Oh,
just
okay,
kept
well,
talking and didn't even notice.
Yeah, as long as you're talking, we don't.
Then I will keep talking. Anyway, so what we need from your organization at the most basic level is more help with being able to look into these leads that we have. If we can try and get those children rescued, I would very much like to do so. How much do you know of that situation?
Honestly, I only know as much as you've told me so far.
Alright. And apparently Nikolai doesn't know shit.
Nope, that was not what that was for. I was bringing up magic to see if you were lying or not.
And no, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nope, just gotta wait a bit and try again.
Okay.
I don't know specifically about this situation, but I know he knows at least one person that could help, and I'd like to help with the situation if possible.
Excellent. If you would be able to make sure that this information gets forwarded to them, that would be greatly helpful.
He looks at Zach. Hey, you want to tell Lance about this? I think he'll take it better from you than from me.
Well, considering I'm in this involved, yeah, it won't be a problem.
Excellent. Alright, so...
Well, we might have a guy, possibly, that is willing to assist. I can tell you right now, he won't deal with you guys.
I can't say that I blame him.
In his words, I see one, I'm going to kill them. Includes the lady over there, too, her breed. Just not a big fan of you guys.
Most aren't.
Mm.
So,
That's why I'm
Alex,
here.
yes,
he
I'll...
kind of leans over closer to them. Might it be prudent to tell them what the children are being used for?
Not so much.
You don't think so, Carmine?
Hey, I just know what my boss told me, and that's why I'm here in case something like that comes up. That's all the guy brought me here for, is to be like, boss's mouthpiece or whatever.
And he disconnected. He got mouthpieced into offline.
So you see Nikolai take out a pair of dice and roll them on the table. Good, so you got 4 successes.
In reality, I suppose that as long as they're secure and safe, the what doesn't really matter.
Well, I know what the boss thought about that situation, but you guys are next.
Alexander's just gonna turn around and look at the peanut gallery.
Zach
like-
is intently watching the conversation. Can't hear
Just,
anything because I don't have a way to do that, but he's just listening. He's just kind of watching you guys all converse amongst yourselves.
Apparently, Joey wants us to all roll perception and awareness.
You can, you don't have to.
Oh, okay. I
This
thought
is a
this
situation
was
where you would roll it.
Well, I'll roll
Okay.
for shits and grins, even though I'm sitting right next to him.
Sure. I'll throw dice. I like throwing dice at things. Dice are fun.
Oh, yeah.
Assuming
2
that my
successes.
dice stream loads up.
He
Just
comes
because this
over
might
Nikolai,
change.
doesn't say anything.
Just because this might change how Alex reacts. I don't know if it will, but it might.
I got a success.
You feel something strange coming from the creepy dude.
You mean besides the screaming babies and fire?
Yep.
Okay.
And you notice Zach turned and looked at him, just kind of shrugged your shoulders, and just went back to looking at you guys.
Josh, how many dice you need?
Pulling up the sheet now. I believe it's 5, but let me look at double check on my sheet.
Okay. Vinny doesn't have dots.
Then he doesn't have dots.
He doesn't get to use roll shit. Yes, it's 5.
Okay,
We
you
gotta wait on Holly,
get
though. We gotta wait on
2
Holly.
successes.
When it comes
Or
to
3
rolls,
successes.
we gotta wait on Holly.
Quick, everybody on the Jeopardy theme. Get as discordant as possible.
Kid, do I really need to be here? I mean, like...
Hey, out of character, you're the one that elected to play Vinny.
He's asking in character because you haven't asked him anything.
Yeah. Well, on that note, it's like, well, do you believe that you have anything to contribute as far as information?
Yeah, I got heaps, but, what I'm going to tell these guys. I mean,
Alright then.
what do you want me to do? You're the boss. You're the guy that gives you're the guy that gives the smoothies now. So like, what's your call here?
Carmine, you're excused. We will talk later then.
Okay, boss. But can I say something before I leave?
He's obviously mulling it over. Go ahead.
You know what he would have done if he was here right now. You also know that what you're doing ain't what he would have done. As a matter of fact, that was in the car when he told you not to do what you're about to do.
He's gonna kind of raise an eyebrow. Try not to assume what I'm doing. I appreciate the suggestion. We will talk about it more later.
You can find me, kid, later.
Vinny, stage left, everybody. Round of applause. Yay! Anyway, So are we just kind of,
When it comes to
Yes.
rolls, we need everybody here for it, unless you want to play catch up. I mean, we can go on just to keep the scene going, because we don't know how long it's going to be. So we can go on and keep the scene going. We'll just have her play catch up when she gets there.
You two sure that's a good idea?
Well, I mean,
The
there's a
shrub.
bunch of information that is already passed out in front of her that we should. I'd say basically we got now. I guess we should wait. I mean, because a lot of the information we don't know how she'd react to what's already been said. So we gotta wait for her and catch her back up.
So who knows any good knock-knock jokes? Nobody?
No.
You're so close, Alex.
Do what? I couldn't hear you.
I said you're so close.
Wait, what am I close to? I'm so confused. And there's Joey doing naughty things with his microphone again.
No, all I'm saying is you remember.
Mm-hmm.
Out of character, we were in self-same situation and self-same discussion. It's been had before. You know what you're supposed to be doing right now.
Here, Marcus, I'm going to PM you.
I don't believe him.
Oh, Marcus, always trying to be so aloof, so flippant, so mysterious, like the Yeti in the forest.
Hubla, Nagula, Hubla, Nagula.
Something like that.
The third thing isn't your problem. You are tap dancing.
Very quickly, apparently.
No, he was tapping. We heard a lot of it.
No. He is tap dancing. That's the plan is a very tap dancing plan.
That was no. The tapping you were hearing was Josh.
No. I'm looking at the plan. It is tap dancing.
Well, I mean, I could just do the goose step march instead, but you know.
I suppose you probably could, but it needs more of a it needs less of a waltz and more of a twerk.
Nope. No,
We are not twerking in this chat.
Too late.
Sorry, no twerks allowed.
Well, I'm just saying, it is very.
I'm not even
very
sure what the implication would be of having it be a twerk dance instead. I mean,
And nobody wants to see a gargoyle twerking.
It's fast and straightforward as opposed to the elaborate dance that you got going on. No, you are not supposed to do that. You know you're not supposed to do that.
yeah, that's why I was confused.
I will leave it at Zach is going to go back and tell the other mages that he thinks you guys are hiding a whole bunch of shit.
Because Zach is smart.
Yeah. Because there's a lot you're not saying, and you're only touching on a few things, and like, oh, well, you know, and then guy's trying to get off subject. He's picking up on that, and honestly, he's real close to be like, you know what, unless you're going to be dead honest with us, but, you know, we're not going to help you.
Well, then
You need to know
better say
straight
that,
up
sir.
what's right.
You better say that in character, sir. Because that's some Zach shit right there.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting on her to get back.
Everybody just stare at Holly's icon very intently.
Sorry.
There she is.
Ah, good.
Really got back right as you said stare at Holly very intently.
You need to roll
Sorry.
perception and awareness.
Okay.
Also,
Well, she doesn't have awareness because she's not a vampire.
Perception alertness. Suppose she can come.
nope. Alertness
other
is
one?
its own thing.
Oh, yeah, so it's just perception then.
Isn't it perception primal urge?
Oh, yeah, that could work.
That would make sense to me.
For what it's for, yeah, that would work.
Okay.
Gee, give us a minute, Marcus. We'll think of it.
I didn't say anything. You did.
Two.
Oh,
There's
hey.
there's woogies coming off of the death mage.
There's what?
There's woogies coming off of the creepy dude with the screaming babies and everything.
He's being
God.
extra creepy.
The one that I'm trying to be like as far away from as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's being extra creepy. Zach just turned and looked at him, kind of smiled, and said nothing.
I hope nobody lies. Because if Alexander lies, he's getting a very... He's not going to get a pistol to the face, but Zach will hear
No,
about
that
it.
would be a bad time.
No, but Zach is going to hear about it, and then the mages will know. And that'll be a bad time.
Yeah.
Someone needs to catch Holly up on what exactly she missed in the brief conversation.
Okay, so Holly, what was the last thing you were here for?
Oh God.
No, he wasn't spoken.
No, Rick wasn't here. No.
It's awesome.
I think
Did you hear the White Knight's comment?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go from there. So White Knight comment, hey, who wants to do the thing? Then they're like, well, what the fuck do you mean? He's like, hey, you remember those kids that got kidnapped and whatever? Yeah, we have a pretty good idea where they're at. And then Zach was all like, you know, you're kind of like just not, you're only partially telling us stuff and da-da-da. Why is it that after 2 months you're taking that long to get to frickin' talking to everybody? And then Alexander's like, well, that's because our entire organization got compromised and we had to clean the fuck house. He's like, see, now you're getting somewhere.
Gotcha.
Zach looks at the others just to move on, because that's basically what it was. And then Zach volunteered, said he might know somebody who can help. And he mentioned that he's in a cabal with some dude named Lancelot. That's about all that she would really pick up on.
They only said Lance.
No, Lance, sorry.
Yeah. Anyway. So. And
Zach looks. Go ahead.
And you're right, I do apologize that I am... that... Because he had pretty much, in an extent, already brought up that it's like, you're only telling us... Well, his exact words were, you're blowing smoke up our ass. Believe me when I say that I'm not trying to be deceptive. The truth of the matter is that I am under direct orders that I am not to give when we are not also receiving. And so, to that extent, I would prefer not being destroyed. And so, I do have to be very careful about my word choice.
Is that a lie?
No.
Does he think he's lying? Okay.
No, he very much knows he's telling the truth.
Okay. So Nikolai will just lean over to Zach. No, he's telling the truth. Yeah.
Zach looks. Okay, I'm going to break it down like this. If there isn't a full and complete disclosure, I'm getting the fuck up and walking out and recommending to the rest of the mages that we have nothing more to do with you guys. That's how plain and simple I'm going to make it here.
Understandable. And he's gonna look to Alexandra and say, "Do you have any objections to these terms?"
It is a two-way street. It means we would have to give up information too.
Agreed.
I mean, I personally can, but I can't speak for everybody else.
I can't speak for anybody else either. Technically, me and Michael Ball is still small, and we're still working on things. But we're at least doing something, and honestly, we don't care anymore.
Fair enough. All right.
Because if it means getting things done, we'll do what it takes.
Then for the sake of saving face with my superiors, this is the deal I'm willing to offer. I can forward you the information about the last known location that we had for the children. And in exchange, we will need your help on an issue that has been bothering the city, and then very much in particular us. This epidemic cold that has been going around is not just a cold.
I figured as much. CDC doesn't usually come in for the common cold.
They came in because of how virulent it's been. Let's be honest, it cropped up out of nowhere, and then there are suddenly lots of people that are getting what should be a thing that moves fairly slowly in regards to going through a community. The problem was our enemies poisoned the well, as it were. It's meant to destroy us. We lost a full third of the city's vampire population within a week.
Ouch.
That said, what kind of virus can eradicate the dead? Only a magical one. To that extent, to that end, we need your assistance.
Myself and several of my cabal mates are already working on helping this issue. We did not know that you were involved.
Rather than sitting around and watching.
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand either one of you.
Go ahead, Joey.
No, Nikolai just said that his cabal has been working on the virus, but they didn't realize it was affecting the kindred as well.
As well.
And what is it Zach was saying?
He said my cabal's more about action. We prefer not to sit around and wait for things to happen.
Well then, in that regard, he's looking at Nikolai. Sounds like it's already being addressed, but I can certainly offer compensation if it would help, for any supplies to facilitate or to expedite the process.
If you can give us perhaps a sample of the virus that's contained, so we can study it, know what to look for, and specifically what to deal with. Also, do you know if anyone in your command structure has been infected?
I know I had it at one point, but some. Huh?
Zach has had matter sight up the whole time. He just looks. Do you want one? He's sitting right there. He's been talking to us the whole time.
Alex is just gonna sigh. Fantastic.
Zach smiles.
Well, I appreciate the information then.
Apparently you were unaware.
The one that we had one of our kind in particular, again, the one who recently had to leave. He had a means of detecting it and also removing it, but not inoculating us to it. I have had it before. Thankfully, it obviously hasn't taken its toll.
Is it airborne? Do you know if it's what kind of virus it is? What we need specific knowledge.
He's just gonna... Oh, apparently you need life and matter to see it in a vampire. Well, that makes sense, actually. The virus
That's
would be
why
alive.
I was asking, because that's what I have, and I brought up life and matter site.
Okay,
So yeah, you still know that you have it, because Nikolai would say something.
okay. Alexander's just gonna smile and say, well... he's gonna pull a briefcase out from under his chair and set it on the table, pull it out. He's gonna pull out a fat folder and just slide it across the table over to Nikolai.
And he is going to be reading it.
Short version, yes, it's airborne. It sits dormant in the host for 3 weeks. Then you get sick for like 2 days. And for a vampire, it just fucking kills you. And people, whatever.
Is it
Other
biological?
people just get better.
Is that in the folder? Whether it's biological or is it nanobots? Like how is it directly?
No one's investigating.
I don't know if there was a... Because otherwise, because that's what we need to know what we need to kill it.
See it with life, right? Yeah. As Marcus put in chat. Well, if you can see it with life, well, guess what? Anyway, I believe that the answers that we have are in the folder. I'll be honest, I am no doctor.
By the way, Nikolai, I need to speak with you when we have time away from these people.
Alright.
Nothing against you guys, but like I said, right now you're still kind of only giving us half things.
And everyone has personal matters as well. I'm fully aware. Yes. I do not expect anybody to discuss anything not pertaining to the attack against the city. Anything beyond that would simply be greedy and unfair. Oh crap, it's 11:30. Losing my train of thought. Been up too damn long. Anyway, in exchange for your help with this, I will make sure that the addresses are forwarded to you. As I said, this is the last known location that we had.
I don't think anybody has life activated, Marcus.
I do.
I have matter. You said you had entropy site up.
I have entropy, and then I just rolled to bring out matter and life. And I got 3 successes. I rolled a 6, a 9, and a 9.
Okay. Well then, yeah, you're seeing it fill the room every time he talks.
Okay. And
well, literally, he just infected everyone.
Not Nikolai. He's got a specific thing against to keep from getting infected.
Still, everybody in the room is exposed.
I doubt that. This was a mage-created virus.
And he's a mage.
That's the thing to bring up later. Let's not bog things down for now. Anyway. So, Nikolai, in addition, I may be able to connect you with someone who has what we've been told is a cure. The only issue that we have is we have yet to find a way of synthesizing more. And that is, for the short version, what we know about that side of the attack. The abominations, looking back to Alexandra, I believe, if I'm remembering properly, were also guarding the children.
Oh.
The reason why they had these children was does anyone know where these children were when they were kidnapped? I mean,
No.
just
This is the first time hearing of it. And you brought it up, so.
well, it's yes, and Bill's right. Everybody is currently carrying the virus that's in the room.
But remember, it only kills vampires. Humans and others, it doesn't. It just gives them a cold for 48 hours, and that's it. Oh yeah, except for the shifter, who is immune.
Yep.
Hacks. Anyway, the children were part of a hacker protege computer whiz some such endeavor, and the entire point being that they were brought under the sway of the rogue vampire group and were working for him to try and bring down all of the city's infrastructure. We don't know if, as you were saying, Zach, we don't know if it was him exactly that was holding the reins on that, or if it was one of his associates. So to that end, we don't know if we don't know who exactly is controlling the abominations. We don't know who exactly is directing the children. This is again the best we've been able to put together through what information we've had since getting back on our feet.
No.
So if you hear of anybody that has heard any rumors pertaining to anything similar to these, it may be related, it may be an enemy smokescreen, it's regardless something that warrants looking into.
I will say one thing.
Yes.
This anti-terrorist group, the reason I brought it up is because expect them to be wearing heavy armor, damn near fucking takes a shit ton to bring them down. Oh, and by the way, they're carrying lightsabers.
What?
You know what? Just because he's like, well, no, he's not that old. Never mind. Alexander's gonna kind of close his eyes slowly, as in
Jedi, Sith, so on and so forth. Take your pick.
Oh my god. Are you serious?
He looks at the girl. I'm as serious as a heart attack.
Oh.
Alexander kind of like just. I'm not sure if he's amused at this or if he's like, I don't know.
Looks to Nikolai. And Nikolai, by the way, it's
She was
Sever's
just making
avatars.
sure she heard him, right?
He looks right to Nikolai and says, by the way, it's Sever's avatars.
Like the guns?
Like the sword.
Makes
I'm not
sense.
sure about the gun.
Considering
yet.
who it
I'm
is.
working on that. I believe the gun does too, so I'd be careful of those. If you see a
Makes
big
sense
armored guy
considering it
coming
is.
at you, run the hell away.
And I was going to stand and fight the big armored guy with a pair of pistols.
Yeah, we did that. Didn't work so well.
If
Oh, by
I
the way,
may.
they can also sense us. He looks at Nikolai. Welcome to our world. I'm not sure if it affects other supernaturals, but I know they specifically can target us.
It seems like, well, first of all,
Hmm.
I'm not going to ask you to betray any of your order's secrets or some such, but what is an avatar? Simply for context.
How to put this?
It's what gives us our powers, to put it
Yeah,
simply.
that's the best way to put it.
So they cut you off at the source.
Correct.
Interesting. Seems
Oh,
like this might
somebody's
be.
barking. I think that's mine. One moment.
Yeah, I'm not hearing any barking, so probably.
Read. Everybody would hear it. It's not being quiet. Marcus PM me. He's gonna come up and find out. Probably get yelled at.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking out of character. I get it now. I see the chat.
Here, dude. If there are cats barking in here, we got issues.
I've seen YouTube videos.
I have not heard either one of these two bark. So.
Right?
Anyway.
Zach will go up and find out what the howling dog is barking at. So, Marcus, whenever you get a chance, PM me. Find out what the hell. Oh, never mind, he did. Huh. Interesting. Oh, back away for a moment. You guys can talk.
Yeah. Anyway, he's gonna look to Alexandra and her say, "Well, do you know any of yours that would be feeling particularly charitable and attempting to beat a challenging iron giant?"
Iron giant, huh? Well, it certainly, I know some of them certainly wouldn't hesitate.
Okay, I don't have tech.
So how do these,
Oh, you need to go. I did.
Joey, stop hitting your keyboard so loud.
I have to do something important and give information.
Anyway, what were you saying, Holly?
she said, well, some are certainly crazy enough to.
Well, if these are supposedly so dangerous to our allies, then maybe the excuse me. Maybe the martial prowess of the rumored martial prowess of you and yours would be beneficial. If it's a specialized weapon designed to combat the mages, it may not be quite so effective against yours.
But you should be careful. If it's the enemy you're facing doesn't just fight us, there's a chance they could have precautions against others in the city.
Especially if these forces have been working in tandem with one another.
These ones probably aren't working with your foes.
Zach walks back in. Sorry about that.
It's been a handful of years since I last had to go use the restroom.
When the dog barks at us.
Something important?
No. He looks at Nikolai. Fix is upstairs.
Oh? What did we do wrong now?
Nothing. He just checking. I'm a cabal man, so he's gotta check on me.
Okay.
Making sure that it wasn't a lunch trap.
Because if it was, it would have ended a lot more unfriendly. But I explained to him we're talking, and there are things we're finally learning that we've apparently been kept in the dark about.
Yes, if this had been a trap, Etch would have also alerted the others.
Anyway, so what you missed, Zach, was Miss Alexandra and us discussing the notion that maybe, as I brought up earlier, maybe the shifters would be better suited towards fighting these if they are specifically crafted to fighting just fighting your organization.
You guys really did miss the part where I said we used
You did
swords
say
and
swords,
guns, and
yeah.
it didn't work. I mean, it took a while, and the good news is with what I'm learning is I think I may have a possible weakness.
You were cutting out really bad for a second there.
I think I may have a possible weakness or a chink in their armor, so to speak.
Oh.
I don't want to confirm anything yet, but I may have one that we could use to our advantage in the next combat.
Well, hopefully they don't get to your avatar.
Yeah.
After all, you two and the Howling are the only ones from your side that actually showed up, so...
She smells.
So, is there any additional information from anyone else's perspective that would need to be brought up?
She's sitting there pondering this. I guess I can also try to get that person to talk. Learn more there too. That's a work in progress, and I can't think of anything that would really.
My one and only recommendation is don't count too much on technology.
Why is that?
The bad guys' versions of us, they tend to love technology.
Nikolai's kind of smiling at Zach in a very disturbing way. Should we educate them on more specifically, or would you like to leave it vague?
I'll leave it at they're behind some of the greatest technological advances mankind has ever seen. Technology is their playground. We have a good guy version that is made to counteract them, but there are certain
their home court.
Let's just leave it up. Their magic is technology.
Yes.
Interesting.
And they're not worried about
Science of any sufficiently advanced sort is indistinguishable from sorcery. Is that the theory?
No, their magic actually is technology, in this case. They mix technology and magic.
They simply don't suffer some of the unique issues our magic suffers because of it being technology.
Yeah, unique. Unique is definitely the word for it.
Interesting. Alright. Well. It's definitely something to keep in mind then.
Matt, you get a text.
Alex is going to go ahead and pull his phone out from the inside jacket of his suit. Check it.
It is from an unknown number. It says the search has been cleared. No sign.
He visibly relaxes that much more.
Good news, I guess?
One last bit of information that I'd been attempting to wait before bringing up because I, again, was concerned that you would think I was simply a crazy person.
Too late.
Fair. As he's putting the phone away. Do you remember when I said that the enemy was being very adept at spreading misinformation as well as everything else?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can now confirm that one of the bits of misinformation was the supposed presence of a nuclear weapon.
Oh yeah, that would have been bad if it was actual.
We have been scanning through the city to make sure that we couldn't find it.
Oh, good. Can we stop digging then?
Jack looks over. What do you mean digging?
We were trying to make sure that the bomb wasn't subterranean, because that opens up a lot of extra space for them to have hidden it, rather than simply hiding it in a broom closet.
I can tell you right now, Nikolai would find that's a bullshit story.
He's leans forward. Why are you lying to us?
See, this is the problem we have. This is why we didn't want to. This is why a lot of people don't want to associate with you guys, because you guys tend to keep some shit out from us. What did I say? Let's be upfront and honest.
Well,
I didn't have to tell you about these. They could have just
out of character. Can I explain why he was using that particular choice of words?
You better explain in character too.
Yeah, I was gonna say in character. Because right now you got
Nikolai is about to whip out the thing that kills vampires.
I'm aware of that. No, out of character, the reasoning was he had full suspicions that there are supposed catacombs under the city that the enemy was looking through that most people wouldn't know. If you're trying to keep it from being able to be stumbled across until you want it hidden, or until you need to use it, and you're already down there.
Which was my thought process as well. So you've made a jump in logic that you really shouldn't have.
No, to be fair, I know exactly where Will and Joey were going with it.
It's not a full
Alexander,
lie, it is a partial lie.
So I suppose then would that crop up? Because, like I said, he's
a lie no matter what. I mean, if it reads it that way, that's the catch. If it reads it that way, then it would read it exactly as a lie, no matter whether it's a partial lie or a full-on lie.
What it's doing is it reads like when it said it reads like the tells and stuff. He consciously knows he's not telling the truth.
Or not fully telling the truth.
Yeah, from what I understand, that would figure it.
Means there's more to it. But, yeah, so it would change a little bit.
He's just going to kind of wince and say, there are things under the city that I am not allowed to speak of. That one of the things that would lead to me being very much destroyed without question.
Okay.
As far as my comment, no, I was being truthful. We were already down there, and if we don't have to look for a nuclear weapon, then we don't have to look for a nuclear weapon.
If you were to try and hide one, would you want to hide it in a broom closet? Or dig a hole under a basement and reseal it?
Well, if somebody was looking for a nuclear weapon, would they look for it in a broom closet?
My first place I'd look is somewhere deep underground where it can't be found. To be quite honest, I wouldn't, if I was the bad guy, the last place I would put it is somewhere where it would be expected to be found, which is deep underground.
Actually,
that's just me. I've seen enough movies to know that most bad guys, when they put a nuclear bomb somewhere, they don't hide it underground. You get more of an impact if it's above ground.
Yes, once you need to detonate it.
Hmm.
As far as the misinformation pertaining to that bomb, that was, it had been presented in the enemy's plans, was, I don't want to say it was coming off as a last resort thing, but it was a potential outlook. It's hard to say because, again, we were running off of half information that we weren't able to go verify in time because, frankly, there was a threat of a potential nuclear bomb that we had to address. And the entire infrastructure of the city being shut down.
Okay. Even though you guys lost a whole third of your kind, that still means there's 2/3 of your kind that could, and take this however way you want it, get off their ass and do something.
Oh, believe me, we're addressing that problem.
I'm just trying to make a point. I mean, if you guys wanted to keep this all secret and find out all this information, it sounds like a lot of your people weren't doing anything to give a shit about it. I would be more concerned with the people who weren't doing anything than I would be with the bad guys at this point, because if they're not doing anything, it usually means that they're on the bad guy's side. Just my opinion, but...
No, believe me, you're not the first one to have that thought cross their mind.
Okay. I just think it's, a little odd. I mean, I know if my people found out there was a nuclear weapon hiding somewhere, we'd be all over the fucking place looking for it. At least.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I'm pretty sure even the shifters would not want to sit by and watch that go to shit. I can only imagine the fallout that would happen in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You believe me, your concerns are sound in that regard. It's one of the issues why I asked it in very particular terms when I asked for this meeting. I asked for those that were either capable or influential.
I'm not influential. I'm just more sociable, as I look to Nikolai, as Fix would put it.
And I can take information to those who are very much in power and can do something substantial about it.
Alexander's just going to shrug, and that's progress.
I'm looking right now telling the NPC, so I don't forget.
I could probably talk to the head of my order and see what he would suggest.
Excellent.
Same with my people.
I mean, I can't promise they're going to give a response because, again, it took you guys this. Well, it's not just that, but it took you this long to tell us this kind of information. Nuclear bomb was kind of the big, kicker. Even if it was, even if you now found out that it didn't exist, keeping it from us was kind of like that's a huge slap in our face.
And I apologize, but to be fair, if I'd have shown up at your doorstep and said, "Hey, I've heard that there's a nuclear bomb in the city," how exactly would anyone have responded to that? I probably would have been lit on fire and then let up for a sunrise.
No. Here, the information you would have had would have been more important than killing you.
And then if they found out you were lying, then they'd kill you.
He's just gonna shrug, be like, well, can't say that it would be any different the other way.
True.
So, all's fair.
Well, I will talk to my cabal and see what they say. I can't promise anything, but I will at least talk to them and see if they're willing to, even if the rest of them don't outright help you. At least, well, more appropriately, should I say, outright talk to you. I assume I will probably become the liaison for at least my cabal. I cannot say anything for the rest of the heads of our order. They will choose whatever they want. But like I said, the cabal I am currently in, the group of mages that are all like-minded, we're all in the thought process of, let's not fuck around, let's get shit done, let's get this city back on track.
And I can honestly say, from my perspective, that is a refreshing change of pace. And if that ends up being the case, you will have no issues from me personally.
Most I can recommend is, if any of your bloodsuckers get in the way, sorry about their loss.
Many of them are stupid enough to get in the way of an entire group of mages, then they deserve what's coming to them.
Pretty much. But I at least am warning you ahead of time that if they get in the way, I feel sorry for them. We're not going to play. We're here for serious means. We won't fuck around. We won't even stop to ask questions.
No, frankly, if anyone is intending to try and meet with you, if they have two brain cells to rub together still in their skull, they would contact you beforehand.
I would hope so, because that would be very bad news for them.
Short-lived news, and then they're not my problem.
Yeah.
Just as I assume that anybody who tried to contact the shifters without giving them some kind of warning would meet the same fate. Just as I expect if we tried to contact you guys without some kind of warning, we all expect the same fate. Let's not, color it in pretty colors. We're all normally against each other for various reasons, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, this isn't unheard of, but it's also not commonplace.
I agree. If the city wasn't under attack, I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
And if the city wasn't under attack, neither would we.
Exactly. Anyway, so what I would like to ask is that everyone here leave some form of contact information with everyone, just so that the lines of communication are open. At least as much as they are now. Because anything that we learn from this point forward, we need to make sure that everyone else also knows. Agreed?
Fair enough.
Alright. Well, with that, I do believe that I have, unfortunately, more meetings before the end of the night. So he's gonna pull out his, pretty much a fat stack of cards and just set them down in the middle of the table. And we can just say everybody hands off whatever their contact info
we'll
is.
everybody.
Alex's card will get them in touch with the screen.
Yeah. Well, you'll get an address from Nikolai because there's no phone at the address, and he says, you need to contact us. Just have your person leave the message outside of the bridge, or next to the bridge. We'll get it.
Understood. Does
I
the shifter
recommend
even have a
calling
phone?
for Demon. Holly,
What?
question was that?
Does
Sorry,
the
it's
shifter
really
even
just-
have a phone?
Yeah, she does.
Awesome sauce. She has Weaver tech.
Sometimes they're necessary.
Yep. Okay, so everybody's got everybody's information, and Oms is like drooling in the corner, bored out of his mind.
And then he left.
Then he disconnected.
You offended
the
him so much
story,
he
yeah.
laughed.
I just can't speak without Google kicking me off the damn call. Son of a bitch.
Don't insult it. He'll make you
Google
kick
don't
him again.
Alright, so we all
Anyway.
exchange information, so Joey, I think you are the one that had the button. Matt, send us out.
Well, just to make sure, one last thing. Anybody else have anything else that would be brought up in character?
Not that I can
Going once? Going twice?
Nikolai's going to tell you he's going to remind you to send him to have the person working on the virus contact them.
Bingo. Yep, that's in the plans. Alright, so, going once, going twice, going 3 times. Alright, we did the things, we did the stuff, it's taken care of, and let's go to bed.
Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Stay tuned for more.